The news, good evening. The Ministry of Health is hoping to see an improvement in the COVID-19 pandemic situation. However, the Public Health Commissioner, Dr. Giugidio, cautions the population not to let its guards down. He was speaking during the weekly press conference this afternoon.
We have in Seychelles 594 active cases of COVID-19 in Seychelles. We have 62 on Praslin, 53 on La Digue, and the rest are on Mahé. Based on the analysis of the cases that we are having, we are on average having between 65 cases a day. But we do have occasional peaks, especially around Monday and Tuesday early in the week. And this is because mostly the access to services during the weekend is lower and the number of cases reported are lower. But when you do the analysis, you find that the weekly incidence may not be rising as fast as people believe. So we anticipate that with all the efforts that are being made, with the rolling out of the vaccination program, we hope to see an improvement in the situation. That does not mean that all the precautions that people should take have to be relaxed. On the contrary, there are so many unknowns. For instance, we don't know whether if we have a variant in Seychelles right now. We are doing the necessary to send samples overseas. We are in contact with different labs, firstly. Secondly, we are not sure what the projection would be in the coming few weeks, if all the measures that are being taken have to be extended, or if they can be removed by the time come end of February. So it's very important that we do everything we can to contain the outbreak.
Seychelles has received more donations towards the COVID-19 Relief Fund. The country's honorary consul in Hong Kong, Dana Ningning Cheng, has donated 900,000 rupees. Ms. Chen had previously gifted 10,000 N95 and 100,000 surgical masks worth $50,000. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism, Sylvestre Radegonde, has commended Ms. Chen for her continuous support and solidarity to the people of Seychelles. Then the Minister for Finance, Economic Planning and Trade, Nadi Hassan, has received a donation from Bank Al Habib worth 50,000 rupees from the bank's country manager, Azhar Zaidi. Minister Hassan pointed out that it is important for the country to raise funds at this critical time because the fight against the COVID pandemic is costly. The government has published an affirmative list of business activities and recipients of self-employed income assistance that will continue to receive assistance under the Financial Assistance for Job Retention Scheme, which was introduced. March will be the last month the government will provide assistance under the scheme.
Businesses on the affirmative list, which will already receive assistance under the Financial Assistance for Job Retention Scheme, will receive 50% of the previously approved payroll for the months of February and March. Business owners on the affirmative list who are already receiving assistance will receive the minimum salary of 5,800 rupees for the same period. 1,068 businesses employing over 8,600 workers and some 2,800 self-employed traders were benefiting under this scheme. The government was spending around 125 million rupees monthly for this program. Since the program started last year and up to March, it would have cost the government almost 1.5 billion rupees. As announced in the budget address, the Minister for Finance, Nadi Hassan, said since the government found that it can no longer sustain this amount during the coronavirus pandemic, which has caused an economic crisis, the government has decided to end the scheme at the end of March. The Secretary of State for Finance, Patrick Payette says as of April, businesses and individuals will have to reorganize themselves, taking into account new developments in the economy. Mr. Payette also says when the scheme closes, the government will do a proper audit to see if there has been no abuse in the program and then take appropriate measures where necessary.
So it will be a continued process for us to ensure that at least any overpayment that has been done or anybody that has qualified, but however, based on new information that we have, if they should have not qualified, we need to ensure that at least we collect those overpayment and those payment that has been done maliciously based on the information that they have provided.
The audit of the scheme will be done by the Auditor General and the Revenue Commission.
The Seychelles Revenue Commission is intensifying its efforts to collect a maximum of taxes this year with a projection of 6.17 billion rupees. The SRC's General Commissioner, Véronique Herminy, said that focus will be put on the retail and wholesale sector as this is the sector they are most concerned about. Just last year, the SRC had to do audit exercises for around 1,800 cases, of which 464 cases were from the retail and wholesale sector. After the exercise, the Commission was able to recover 1.8 billion rupees. In total, the SRC collected 6.3 billion rupees last year and is optimistic to meet the target this year.
We did an exercise last year to ensure that before we make a start, basically in terms of restructuring within SRC, to ensure that we capture the maximum taxpayers. The exercise, the result showed us that we have quite a large number of taxpayers with multiple outstanding returns, especially for business tax. It is the same for VAT, but the numbers is a lot lower. For business tax, we have 4,861 taxpayers with multiple tax returns outstanding, and the total number of returns is 29,502. This year, we have certain list of taxpayers which have been identified as high risk for audit. The whole exercise for this year, it's across the board within SRC. It's not only audit, it's also in relation to enforcement of collection. We have a series of education programs to ensure that taxpayers meet their obligations for lodgement of returns and also for payment of taxes.
And the government needs to review different strategies regarding tax collections, and it needs to be done in a reasonable and just manner for everyone to benefit. Giving his reaction on the 2021 budget, business consultant Peter Roselli has described the budget address as encouraging. Mr. Roselli spoke on the abolishment of CSR tax and other forms of taxes in general.
150,000 tax-free bracket. So that was a little bit unfair because taxation is based on many values, core values, and two of them are equity and fairness. So it was not fair, it was not equal. But now by doing away with the tax bracket and aligning the tax at starting from 15% to 25%, usually the company were paying 30%, so now it's gone down. So who's benefiting? It's the big companies. So it's a question about who's benefiting and the effect on the country. So psychologically, some people will say that we've tried to reduce the tax on big companies, but again, we need the private sector as the engine of growth to push forward and create more. We can't just tax the barn, tax the cow, and then tax the milk. So we need to choose, we need to be very selective on the tax base. And actually we're having a problem for years on the cost of living. And VAT is responsible for that. The government should accept that VAT is responsible because of the way we calculate VAT. Every time a good change hands, we add 15%. And the effect is on the consumer, not the business. So I think my proposal is we need to think about a new way of charging VAT, and it should be at point of entry, flat rate, say 22 to 25%, the person pays, the business pays, and it's done. And then the cost will pass on to the consumers.
And with this, we end this news summary. Next on SBC, a repeat of the Connectez program. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.